some of our elected officials may not feel as connected to this issue or feel the urgency of the issue because constituents may not fully grasp the cost until it's in their faces, like it was in Labor Day.
Wildfire is a much costlier and bigger and far-reaching issue than we typically think about, and it has particular social justice dimensions.
Fire is indiscriminate. It does not care if your home is Republican or Democratic.
The reality is, these are not your grandfather's fires. They're bigger, they're more powerful, and you asked me about what's different now. What's different now is there is an urgency.
Fire is a 12-month system now.
Now, with Oregon's population at over 4.2 million individuals, it is now estimated that close to 2 million of them are living in the high-risk ignition zone that we're calling a wildland-urban interface.
My job as a legislator is to continue to remind my colleagues of what happened last summer and what is still happening on the ground in my community.
Our world has changed, and we have to adapt how we adapt our lifestyles, how we look at funding, how we prioritize.
There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of acres here in Oregon where science-based restoration and prescribed burning would be appropriate.
Taking care of this landscape for us is very important. We're here, we're going to be here forever, tribes.
We cannot just say, let it all happen. Let fires that ignite burn and be as they will.
We don't get to choose whether or not the inevitable wildfires are coming. We get to choose how we want our fire and how we want our smoke.
Although it feels kind of difficult to say that something is just as important as racial justice, knowing that my life or the lives of my family and friends who look like me could be threatened because of the existential crisis of wildfire, that racial justice kind of comes to naught.
To achieve net zero or even net negative emissions, we must maintain or enhance land sector carbon sinks, and that will require some level of active management of our forests.
Why would we not look at our forests and make a strategic plan and implement steps to protect that forest in the same way that we try to address the natural disaster of an earthquake?
Meeting this challenge creates opportunities. We can create jobs restoring ecosystems in struggling rural communities, and we can work to bridge the urban-rural divide.
We've got to find a new way of making sure that people are connected with one another across the state.
Meeting that ambitious goal will require a cross-sector collaboration unlike we've ever seen before.
Given the enormity of the problem with megafires, I think it's pretty clear that we need the involvement and the investment from the private sector.
As daunting as the challenge is, there is a strategy. We have a solution.
We have here in Oregon been able to do some great innovations. We're a small state. We are able to kind of get to decision makers and bring people together and do some things that a lot of other states can't quite do.
We're really just limited based on our fear of the unknown and of the fear of failure. But I think, like we were talking before, failure really is doing nothing.
Now we have to convince people that it is an investment that will return long-term gains, both financially and personally.
We are not helpless. There are things we can do together to make our forests healthier, more resilient, better ecosystem, produce more jobs, and let's go to work.
We truly have an obligation to be proactive about this. We have no choice. Because if we don't, we just can't afford it. None of us can afford it.